Wanda Kinsler here again with the cure for coronavirus and the Italian doctors. Here's another article with cardiologist Dr. Giampaolo Palma from Italy. And, you know, this one was translated into English, so it doesn't always translate perfectly. Well, they were all translated into English. At the top, so I can't really tell you the name of the article. At the top, it does say coronavirus. Cardiologist Giampaolo Palma understood everything. And then in quotations, pneumonia has nothing to do, I think, nothing to do with it. And then it says, what they have always hidden. Wow. What the elite, what China. You know, China didn't give us the information. And what the elite and what the WHO and what the CDC have kept hidden from us. Okay. Whoever wrote this article, it was not written by the doctor, but someone else. Oh, it's Renato Farina, June 5th, 2020. Now, Renato, I don't know if that's female or male, but he's saying that preamble. Here there are no miraculous recipes. Nobody runs for the Nobel. Yeah, he should get the Nobel Peace Prize for this. The simple story is told in these complicated times of coronavirus, simple and therefore very informative. The protagonist, Dr. Giampaolo Palma, is a doctor who pioneered and traced a simple and today universally accredited way to escape the deadly grip of COVID-19. There is a problem. He acted without seeking permission from the lobbies of scientists queuing on government committees or without securing media support. I had marked his name on May 3rd, and an article on the Dawn professor, Maria Rita Gismondo, director of clinical microbiology and virology of the Sacco in Milan, wrote, "For 2 months, we chased the beds in intensive care. We talked about interstitial pneumonia. Today, the autopsies make us discover much more." And here is the quote from a doctor unknown to the general public, never seen on TV. This hypothesis had always been put forward by Dr. Palma, cardiologist from Salerno, among the criticisms of the usual media salons. Weeks go by and what we know happens. In other words, what they knew would happen did happen. They knew that their hypothesis was correct and their treatment was going to work. Dr. Giampaolo, as soon as he figured this out, he knew it was going to work. I've been following him since early April. Since this first came out. I've been following this and trying to get this out. I think it was April. I'll tell you for sure later. But anyway, whatever I told you on the first video. Okay. The intensive care, it says, weeks go by and what we know happens. The intensive care units are emptied. Applying the Palma hypothesis opposed by the luminaries, in other words, those who think they know everything, the elite. How about the Illuminati? How about Bill Gates? How about Dr. Fauci? How about Dr. Birx? How about all this, coronavirus committee or whatever they are, to which the bulb has burned out? Yes, I think their bulb has burned out. I don't think they know a thing. Would there have been fewer deaths? Of course. After that, they are much less. Okay, now this writer goes into comparing the doctor to some neo-writers in a book, I guess. This might be in Italian, something Italians know. I don't know. I'm going to skip that part because it's not something I'm familiar with. It's not Shakespeare. It might be something some of you would be familiar with, but I'm not sure what it is. He's, saying he's the hero. It says for 23 years he has been examining, auscultating, diagnosing, and prescribing the therapies and accompanying those with heart problems, vascular problems, etc. in daily difficulties and fright. Well, they're talking about that he's not exactly happy with his planetary popularity now that he's discovered this, but there's nothing he can do about that. Anyway, his theses have been exalted but also deformed. Now that's where he wants to find, wants me to help him find in America a newscaster, well, preferably to him a journalist, so it can all be in writing, so they don't take his theories and what he's doing, his work, and add to it, because some of these videos that you've probably already seen added to it. One video said you use aspirin. He really doesn't want to hear you use aspirin, that cured someone. They took his work, and then at the end they added, someone from Mexico cured themselves with some honey and aspirin, in one day. No, that's not probably true. And another video said it wasn't a virus, it's a bacteria. But no, it is a virus. It is a virus. But not everyone develops the disease. So some people get over it quickly. They get the virus, their immune system reacts correctly, doesn't overreact, and they don't get a cytokine storm, and they don't get the blood clots, and they're done. They're done with it for now. Now, whether they've developed immunity or not, I don't know. But, that's what happens with the vast majority of the people. But the people that go on and develop the disease, they're not dying of pneumonia. They're dying from the thrombosis. So let me read the rest of this. He said that it all started on a certain night in April after hours spent rereading notes and not being able to sleep. He had a diagnostic intuition. Well, okay, I'll read this. One of the first Nobel laureates in medicine, Alexis Carrel, explained the phenomenon with words that are a seal of an empirical science, such as medicine, but perhaps also the juice of existential wisdom. Little observation and much reasoning lead to error. A lot of observation and little reasoning lead to the truth. So this is what Giampaolo had, a lot of observation of all of what was going on with COVID, the patients he was treating, and the autopsies. Palma had observed a lot, and here's the elementary discovery. The COVID-19 is not an interstitial pneumonia. This virus does not cause pneumonia, but blood clots everywhere. We must make sure that as soon as the symptoms arise, we treat the patients at home with anticoagulants, anti-inflammatories, etc. It may be that other clinicians have cultivated this thesis, but foreseeing altercations with jealous virologists of the territory, they have refrained from the controversies in order to avoid poisoned arrows. In other words, they've refrained from telling anyone what they're doing, which may be the case of the doctor in California, maybe the doctor in Houston. In Dr. Palma, the inner need to communicate prevailed. He had no right to be silent. He went to the computer and wrote a post on his Facebook page. He has since had millions of hits, bouncing with his face in the 5 continents. What did he see that night in front of him? I asked him at 2 a.m. before he could not, while he is filing the scientific article that will be published in a few days in a magazine of international rank. Yes, the doctor contacted me because he thought I was an American journalist from this article that someone put out of mine. It wasn't an article, it was just something I wrote with my face on it, and they put it out and all over Italy and Europe, and he saw it and he contacted me. And so we've talked a little bit, but he really wants to only, have a major interview with someone who will put it in writing, and that he knows that he won't be misquoted. But we did have some conversations, pretty extensive. But anyway, what we saw at the end of March, at the height of the viral storm, was the lethal assault of pneumonia with a very strong viral load. Among the first respiratory difficulties in an hour and a half, the patients were transferred to intensive care. Never has a pneumonia acted like this. I wondered if there is something else. So go to the next video.